What's up, y'all? It's Ryan Martell here, and this is going to be my top 6 holiday horror movies, Christmas horror movies, whatever. Um, no particular order, of course, but I am going to start out with a newer one. This is 2022's Christmas Bloody Christmas, and this is. Oh man, it's another one that I feel like a lot of people in my circles, at least, don't really get. Like, they talk about how much talking there is up front, and it's like annoying dialogue or whatever, I don't know, whatever that fucking means. I like it. I think that the talking up front kind of endears you to these characters. It lets you know who these people are, so that when the killing starts, you kind of care about at least one of them. You know, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe you dislike them because of the dialogue. These are people I know, I feel like. They're assholes, kind of, but they're lovable assholes. Um, Anyways, the premise of this one is there's been a military technology that is like robotic soldiers or something, and they use this technology to try to make mall Santas, robotic mall Santas, and they get recalled because of course they do, and there's one in this toy store in this town who comes to life and starts killing people. And it's great, man. It's really fun. Definitely check it out. It's on Shudder. It's also available on Blu-ray and DVD, which I can't fucking suggest doing enough. Even though I don't think Shudder's ever going to take a lot of their original stuff or exclusive stuff off, there's always the chance that Shudder goes away one day, and you don't want to lose access to things like this because, you know, even if you don't really love a movie, if you enjoy it even a little bit, it's worth trying to find a cheap DVD of it. So yeah, check out that one. Again, like I said, it's called Christmas Bloody Christmas. Came out last year. Nice little slasher. Fun little get together for the family here at Martell's Movie Madness. Alright, next up, if you like Home Alone, but you wished that it was a little bit more gritty, dare I say even more violent, and that it had a creepier bad guy, this is a good movie for you to check out. This one's called Deadly Games. It's from 1989. It's also known as Dial Code Santa Claus or Deadly Game Dial Code Santa Claus. 3516 Dial Code Pierre Noel. It's a French movie, and it was Home Alone before Home Alone was a thing. Like, it was Home Alone before Home Alone existed. And damn, it's good. I mean, it's really good. And it's kind of an underrated movie. It's gotten a lot more popular since Vinegar Syndrome released a Blu-ray of it, and also Joe Bob Briggs covered it on his Christmas special a couple years ago. So yeah, that one's a really good one. You should check it out. Like I said, it's the exact same premise as Home Alone, except this kid's at home with his old ass grandpa who's like dying basically because he hasn't had his insulin, and this creepy ass dude dressed as Santa Claus is trying to fucking kill him. It's great. It's insane. The Santa Claus dude could not be creepier. Alright, next up is Better Watch Out from 2016. This one is another one that kind of flew under the radar, especially for me. I don't know about the horror scene in general, but to me, this one I didn't find out about till a couple years after it came out. Less of a Christmas horror movie and more of a horror movie that takes place at Christmas. The previous two, I feel like, could not take place any other time because, of course, there is a Santa Claus at the, crux of the movies. This one, however, could take place anytime, anywhere. In fact, they did make a version of this later on, like I think 2019 is when the Babysitter movie came out. Similar premise, very similar premise, but it doesn't take place at Christmas. And there's no satanic shit going on here, and Better Watch Out. It's just a sociopathic kid. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, the Babysitter movies aren't really the same as this. It's kind of reversed, actually. the kid's evil in this instead of the babysitter. But I mean, just check it out. It's great. It's about a really fucking sociopathic fucking brat child who just like who's like obsessed with his babysitter, who is trying to get her to fall in love with him, and like he sets up this elaborate thing, and everything that he sets up goes wrong, and then he ends up fucking killing people, and there's blood everywhere, there's pain everywhere, there's fucking pencils, there's weed, there's pills, there's alcohol, there's fucking the dude from Stranger Things that played the mullet brother from season 3, I think. Or 2 and 3. Maybe 3. Just 3. I don't know. Either way, check out Better Watch Out. It's fucking awesome. Alright, now we're getting into some of the classics here. Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984. I often say that Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is my favorite in the franchise. And it might be. But I just recently rewatched the first one for the first time in a while. And it really is a more solid horror movie of the two. I mean, there's 5 movies overall, but the first one I think is the most encompassing of Christmas horror to me. You got a killer Santa Claus, which is paramount. You've got snow. You got a crazy grandpa telling kids fucking Santa Claus punishes naughty kids. And yeah, like I said, part 2 is great because it's got part 1 in it. Like all the good parts from part 1 basically are in part 2. So you can just watch part 2 if you don't feel like watching both, you know, but and then you get the garbage day line for part 2, but you know, does that make a good horror movie? Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night, up there for sure. Definitely check it out. Alright, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We only got 2 left on this 6 list here. This is my personal favorite Christmas horror movie, Christmas Evil. I think it was also known as Better Watch Out back in the day, but it was re-released as Christmas Evil. I don't know. This one's just kind of like an overall very unnerving and kind of sleazy movie. It's a dirty feeling movie. Not a lot of nudity. I don't think there's any at all, as a matter of fact. But the whole thing just kind of is skeezy feeling. This is another movie that kind of flies under most people's radars. If you're a horror fan, you've probably seen this one, especially if you're like one of those people who just searches out for Christmas horror around this time. But a lot of people still haven't seen it, and I think that's kind of a shame. It did get a little bit of surge in popularity when Joe Bob showed it on his Christmas special. Same year, I think it was the same year he showed Dial Code Santa Claus, and this one's good, man. And it was one of those kind of gems that kind of got rediscovered a couple of times now. The first time was when John Waters put it on his top Christmas movies list or whatever. Then Joe Bob's thing, and of course it's got a Vinegar Syndrome release, which also boosted it a little bit in popularity. But I think it's great, man. I think it's a good one. I mean, he goes around and he punishes the naughty people and he gives presents to the good ones. And it's magical and wonderful and fantastical. Alright, last but certainly not least, I think it's the first Christmas horror movie. I don't know, I haven't really seen anything earlier than this. We're gonna aside A Christmas Carol because yes, it is technically kind of a horror movie, but I'm talking about like a straightforward traditional horror. Like we'll say this is the first Christmas slasher. There we go. I'm talking about Black Christmas, Bob Clark, 1974. It just really set the stage for what would become the slashers of the late 70s and early 80s. More so the early 80s than the late 70s, I guess. But like, you see Bay of Blood, and that kind of takes what Bob Clark did here, and it kind of ups it a little bit. And then Friday the 13th, Halloween, all of those movies are kind of like following this kind of formula here for this movie. Black Christmas may not just be the best Christmas slasher, because I don't think Christmas Evil is a slasher. It kind of is, but it falls more on the weirdo kind of like oddball horror to me. I don't know. Anyway, this is one of the top 10 slashers of all time, period. You definitely got to check out Black Christmas if you haven't already. Um, but yeah, that's it. That's my top 6 Christmas horror movies. Let me know how you feel about these movies. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. If you have, sound off in the comments. If you've watched them because of this video, come back. Let me know how you feel about them. Let me know if I'm off base. I mean, I think these are the top 6. These are the 6 most quintessential Christmas horror movies. I think every year for Christmas time, December 1st through 25th, you've got to watch these 6 horror movies. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and let's watch some fucking movies.